welcome. This is very nice to have you here. Those of you who have been playing with us for some time, welcome. Nice to have you here. One of the things that I'm very interested in doing is beginning to have as much of this information available to you as possible. And this work is being pulled out of the kind of the level 2, the level 3 level of work for you to get an idea of what is possible and what is involved in this body of work. So what I would like to do here is a number of sessions ago, these free lectures, we played with that blue color coding. But I'd like to expand on it. And I would also like to expand on something we've done in the past and give you another opportunity to kind of play in it. There are layers of thought where you think. And it's like a house. You do certain things in certain rooms, and you don't cook in the bedroom, and you don't park your car in the living room. That doesn't work. But there are things that you do comfortably in certain rooms. Cooking in the kitchen usually works pretty well. Same thing with your layers of thought. You think in different layers. And when you can begin to have an awareness of where you are and what that layer, how it functions, and how thinking in that particular layer provides an opportunity for you to generally have a success at what you are attempting to do. But not managing what layer of thought you're in, not managing the emotion that you are in, usually creates a wobble in how you begin to receive what you intend to create. So what I'd like to do is begin to point these layers of thought and these emotions in terms of how you play and how you can create, and also what happens when you begin to play with these different color coding structures. Now that word coding is really about codes and processes, not so much about color of the wall, if you would, the coding of the wall. Blue is a predominant color vibration in a large configuration of energetic structures. Also in this blue color coding, there are sound templates. Very few of them even hearable. You can't hear them with your ears. And the coding structure begins to be like turning on a software program in your computer. When you turn on that particular software computer or software program, you begin to play in a format. Same thing with when you're thinking in a layer of thought, you go into a certain format that allows for an ease that allows you to create. So let's see what we can do with this. And I'm going to ask you, as I always do, just to notice yourself at the incremental points along the way. And at the point where we are playing engaged in all this, I'm going to ask you to notice yourself. So if you would notice yourself right now, just kind of where are you? How are you thinking? What is going on with you right now? And let's kind of play a little game here. Would you create a gauge? Gauge meaning like a thermometer, or a gauge like a needle gauge that goes 1 to 100. And the number isn't important. Just kind of let a number show up. So the question is, looking at that gauge, how much of my attention and energy is in the past right this minute? So if you're a person that is worried about what you did today, you didn't finish work, you think a lot about what you didn't do in life, that gauge is going to have a little higher number. Don't correct it. Just kind of allow it to be a gauge. I have 40% of my attention right this minute in the past. Would you kind of take a breath and then create another gauge and ask yourself, how much of my attention right this minute is in the future? Now, there's no right answer or wrong answer, but it's a tool. So what you can gather from that is, if the next question is, how much of me is in present time right now? You already know a good part of you, or some part of you is in the past, some part of you is in the future. So what's left for you right now? Now, inside that right now time, there is a whole another set of questions you can ask. So how quiet am I right now? How much of my attention is in being quiet? Or how much of my attention is in worrying about something? Now again, the answer is not pure, and it's just simply a barometer, a means of noticing where do you have your energy. Now, with that little bit of information, would you take a breath? Just kind of let those gauges dissolve into nothingness. And then 2, 3 more nice smooth breaths, and would you become aware of yourself, just kind of being right here, right now, very present right now. Let your body relax, just kind of sit back in your chair. And just notice, did your eyes already close? For many of you, the answer will be yes. For others of you, you're just beginning to relax. But would you notice yourself, if your eyes are still open, would you notice that bringing your attention to relaxing pulled your awareness out of other places where just a minute ago you had attention in the past and the future? Would you just kind of be aware? We'll play with the gauge again in a moment, but would you just kind of be aware that your eyes might be open, you're not paying attention to the room, you are a little more conscious of being conscious. Now, those of you who let your eyes close, would you notice if this is a pattern whenever you go into a meditation or you go into a trance, whatever you wish to call this, that as soon as you have a sense that says, oh, I'm supposed to do this thing called meditate, trance, quiet, again, whatever you call it, that there's a pattern to it. Close my eyes, I kind of sit back this way, my head moves this way, I move myself to a position called meditating or trance or consciousness. Just notice. There's no right answer, just notice. In that process of how you have created your pathway to what is called meditation, many times it's a pathway that in fact eliminates a number of choices and possibilities. It's like simply saying, oh, I'm going to cook, so I'm going to go to the kitchen. But many times in the space of becoming conscious of being conscious and applying information, tools, awareness, ability, skills, beginning to choose, by simply going to that same place over and over, you miss a tremendous amount of choices and a great awareness of what you're even doing many times. So take another breath. Now, for those of you who have your eyes closed, take a breath, and would you open them? Kind of, we're doing something that may be a little bit different. Not better than, not replacing anything, just an energy pattern that's a little different. Now, with your eyes open, being conscious of yourself, kind of just sitting in the chair, being aware of you relaxing in the chair. Nice smooth breath. Now, would you bring your attention into your head? It's kind of a funny thing to say, but simply just be aware of yourself. Let your eyes become kind of unfocused. The room's there, but would you be aware of you being aware of you? Now, we're going somewhere, and we're going possibly on a little different route than you normally move. So let this be an adventure, maybe something to be learned. Another breath. Be in no hurry. Now, from this space, would you stay right behind your eyes, and would you see the room, but see the room from inside your head, behind your eyes? Just kind of looking at the room. Notice if that is a little quieter than where you might have been a moment or two ago. Another breath. Few more breaths, nice smooth circular breath where that inhale and the engages with the exhale, and the exhale flows into the inhale. It's kind of circular. Would you just pay attention? And then 3 more breaths. And as you're watching these 3 breaths, as you're being conscious of these breaths, kind of watch the breath flowing from inside your head. Would you just let your eyelids close and just continue to watch 3 more breaths? They just kind of breathe in and breathe out. Very simple. No work. But notice the breath. And then just continue to breathe. Let the breath kind of do what it does. And would you just be aware of yourself here? So let me ask the question again. Would you just notice yourself? Are you a little different right here than you were when I first asked the question or explained noticing yourself about 5 minutes ago? Then would you imagine a gauge right out in front of you? And from right where you are, just notice right where you are, would you just ask the question, how much of my attention right now is in the past? How important is the past to me right where I'm sitting right now? You may find that number is a little less or not. No right answer. And then would you ask the gauge, how much of my attention is in the future right now? How much of my attention is right here, right now, present time? Now, everything is about being conscious. Everything. Consciousness generates energy. Energy comes out of being conscious. You create with energy, but you are always conscious. Beginning to be more aware of being conscious is what allows you to begin to direct energy and creation. Another breath. Now, let me ask you to be aware. This is an adventure, and we're playing, and we're kind of noticing some things as we move through this. where we're going is there are a lot of patterns that we each hold that are unconscious to us. A lot of beliefs that I'm not okay because they don't like me, because I'm not attractive, because I'm not smart enough, I don't deserve, blah, blah, blah. All of that is stuff that we don't like to look at. And we have attention points that are unconscious. These are thoughts and emotions that are unconscious. And if I said to you, well, tell me about what happened in your sophomore year in high school, you would generally have a thought. Along with that thought, there would be a happy, sad, mad, glad, something, emotion that would come along. But many of those emotions are embarrassing, scared, fearful, I feel abused, all of those patterns. Trying to clear them out in the past or trying to affect the future in the future is impossible. You cannot change the past or create in the future when you put your attention or your worry or your hope or your prayers out there. Only happens right now. Only place. And so these patterns, these thoughts and these emotions, these abuses, these fears, these I'm not okays, are patterns that we usually put in the unconsciousness. And when you begin to ask the gauge, how much of my attention is in the past, and you begin to get very capable at paying attention to the gauge, allowing the gauge to be a tool for you, rather than saying, oh, no, that doesn't matter, but just beginning to trust the gauge, you find that a lot of what says I have 40% of my attention in the past, and yet, gee, I don't even pay attention to the past. What it's really telling you is I have 40% of my attention tied up in these thoughts and emotions that I am still holding on to, protecting, defending, hiding from, fill in the blank. Take another breath. Do you know what I'm talking about? Same thing happens because we are supposed to have these experiences in the future. We're supposed to, keyword supposed to, based on what others do and others said and what they told me I should do about my future. I have these expectations and fears and worries because I'm supposed to be doing this or that. I'm supposed to be this successful. I'm supposed to be in this kind of marriage. I'm supposed to be this kind of parent. I'm supposed to go to this kind of church. Supposed to. You know that place, supposed to? That supposed to has a whole lot of attention points in your future. So what's interesting is most of those supposed tos are not yours. They don't even belong to you. They were never even your idea. You don't even like many of those supposed tos. I really wanted just to be this kind of person, but I'm supposed to be this kind of person. Now, another breath. Now, let me be very clear about what I am doing right now. I am intentionally what is called lighting up your pictures. I am intentionally bringing your attention to those places in your past that you, on a conscious level, don't really want to look at. But I'm not talking to you in that conscious level. We are playing in 5 or 6 different layers of thought. We are playing in 5 or 6 different layers of emotions. And as long as you stay right here, and you'll drift back and forth, But right here, we are doing something rather significant. By lighting up these pictures, it's not about how good or bad anybody is. It's about what is holding my attention, what is stealing my attention from the present moment's ability to create magnificently because I have my attention on I did it wrong. They didn't like me. I'm really not okay, somebody told me. So would you like to be able to not engage with those pictures that are being lit up, but in fact light them up in such a way that with this blue color coding from a specific layer of thought and a specific set of emotions or feelings, would you like to create a space to where all of that can be simply cleared away without even being conscious of what that is? Would that be of use? You see, how it works is when you can hold your attention in the present moment and in a vibration that allows you to be light and fluid and flexible and mobile, happy, versus depressed, angry, rage, resentful. Kind of just notice which set of thoughts feel better. Angry, rage, depression, happy, enthusiasm, laughter. Which feels better? When you can begin to hold your vibrational present time awareness in, let's just say, happy, in a fifth layer of thought, and have drawn to you a set of feelings like capable, comfortable, competent, present, I like myself, I feel good about me right now, and then you begin to draw in this blue coating, directing it into these aspects of who you are not. They simply dissolve and short-circuit the energies that were never you in the first place. Would that be useful? So let's see what we can do. So would you be conscious? Would you take another couple of breaths? And would you bring yourself to what is referred to as the fourth layer of thought? The number's not important. This fourth layer of thought is a place that you visit. It's a place where you are reading a book. It's a place where you are sitting back, kind of watching an interesting television show. It's a place where you have a sense of curiosity. It's a room that allows you to be curious, but really not need the answer. Curious about the answer, but I don't need the answer. I wonder how this works, you say. And then you just ponder it, curious. But in this fourth layer, one of the distinguishing factors is I'm not in need. I'm not leaning into, oh, I've got to really get this done. See, that's leaning. I'm not worrying about, gee, I wonder if they're going to get upset at me because I didn't do this yesterday. And that's leaning. That's kind of leaning into the past and then leaning into the future. Another breath. Now, I'm not talking to your ears. We simply are now working. So would you like to clear out those patterns? So would you bring yourself to this fourth layer of thought? Now be conscious. This isn't a drifting off into unconsciousness. No need to do that. This is being curious. Would you like to remove those patterns that have kind of followed you through your life, where somebody didn't like you, somebody didn't approve of you, somebody didn't think you were smart, somebody told you you weren't worth anything. Would you like to simply clear those away? Because understand they were never your thoughts. Never your thoughts. Somebody gave you a gift. Oh, you don't know how to dress well. Oh, you don't know how to comb your hair. Oh, you don't know how to read a book. You're not a smart person. So take a breath. And would you simply be aware of what I'm pointing you to, but leave it alone. Just let it sit there. And would you be in a space where you're quiet, present time, right now. Now, in this space where you begin to be in present time, would you begin to consider a funny question? How would you like to dress yourself? What I mean by that is, what words would you like to wear if you were going to present yourself into the world? Words like gracious, kind, respectful, dignity. There's a certainty about myself. There's a presence about me. I am capable. I have a smooth flow of energy. Can you see how dressing yourself in those types of vibrations begin to change your presentation? So how would you like to present yourself? So let's start with a couple of words. Would you just find calm? And would you allow yourself to be calm? Put your attention on calm and then feel what calm feels like. Now, if you're presenting yourself as a calm person, how does that work for you? Now, you can change these clothes all day long, but calm. And then would you add to calm the vibration of the word certain? I'm certain. Would you just have a sense of being certain? Now, it's not compared to anything in the past. It's just right now, sense of certainty. And generally, the body wants to sit up. Shoulders kind of go back. It's like, yes, this is who I am. Certain. It doesn't have a it doesn't have a question attached to it. It doesn't have you prove that you're certain. It's just a feeling. I can be certain. And then would you try on another word, which is really a funny word because it's actually a color. Oh, I know there's only 7 colors, but actually there is an 8th color. This word is clear. Ever considered clear as a color? Try it out because it's a color. But it also is a smooth vibration in the body. But you just kind of feel clear. Certain, calm, clear. Now just notice yourself. Those words begin to change how your body feels. It also changes your emotional body, and it also changes your ability to perceive your reality in a different layer of thought. Very cool. Another breath. So calm, certain, clear in a 4th layer of thought. You notice that 4th layer of thought got a little quieter, possibly. in that fourth layer of thought in these words, would you just kind of be aware of your presence in these words? And see if just hold them. Don't move from these words. But I'm going to point your attention again to the past. Now, just this time, without engaging in some of those pictures, thoughts that were lit up, some of those patterns that are still stored in the unconsciousness, this time just kind of notice your past from clear and calm and certain. Same pictures, but would you notice that your engagement with them is not the same? There's nothing broken. It's just there's a picture. But being able to observe a picture from this fourth layer of thought in vibrations like calm and clear and certain, allow for an opportunity here. This blue color coding is a vibrational configuration that will neutralize and short-circuit emotional patterns and much more, but right here we're looking at emotional patterns. Would you simply take a look at one of those past pictures? Don't engage with it, just kind of see it. Clear, calm, certain. And would you call on this blue color coding, and would you draw the blue color coding into the body? Now, that's just a command. Don't think. You're directing energy. You're creating with energy from consciousness. And would you just bring that blue color coding right into the body? And then just sit back and notice calm may get calmer. Clear may get clearer. And it just washes through the body. Very quiet, very comfortable. It's a very soothing vibration for many. Being right here in the present moment. You might see that blue as different colors of blue. You might see it as kind of a sheet of energy, a swirling energy. No right answer. But it moves into the emotional body. Moves into those lower three chakras. Nice smooth breath. You might even consider happy, another one of those words that loosens things up. You can be happy for no reason, just happy. And another breath. Now, would you add to this, would you direct this blue coating to just come right down kind of the central column of the body. Comes right down through that crown chakra, sixth chakra, fifth, fourth, right down into the first chakra. But as it comes through those upper seventh, sixth chakra, fifth chakra, would you just have the awareness without needing to know, but would you direct this blue coating into the neurological system, into the brain, into the spinal column, into the nervous system? It's a direction. And then just kind of watch this in the body. Just notice as it moves through that nervous system of the body. It'll also move into the meridian system of the body. As it moves in the vibration of calm and clear, it'll move into the spin points that you know as acupuncture points. Moves into the hand chakras, into the feet chakras. Another breath. Now let me just leave you without speaking for about 1 minute. And what I'd like you to be aware is in the center of your head. Be in your head. Be curious. Notice yourself without drifting off. You are creating something. This is a doing. This is not a guided meditation and, oh, wasn't that nice at the end. This is a set of very potent tools that allow you to disrupt those thoughts that were never yours and those emotions that were drawn to the thought of how bad I am, whatever that means. Would you simply just kind of watch that blue color coding? It's an energetic pattern. And for about a whole moment, just sit and be conscious of what is happening. Now would you just take another breath, and would you notice yourself? Now would you be conscious of being conscious? And would you be aware of just simply being in your head, kind of like behind your eyes? would you bring your attention to that fourth layer of thought? This is the layer where, again, you're not leaning, you're simply observing. Now, in this layer of thought, I'm going to ask you to find a word. I'll give you a word, an energy pattern. Understand words are vibrational tones. And a word is, in a way, from an intellectual, mental body standpoint, just simply the beginning of a construct of a creation. Just a word. It has no emotion attached to it. It's simply the beginning of an engagement. With that word, I'm going to ask you to notice the word without an emotion. The word might be like happy. So can you see, observe happy, know happy, but not have a feeling attached to it? And then the next request is, what layer of feeling would you like to experience? Like a little bit happy, medium happy, really happy? That's a choice. So you're taking a thought and you're combining an emotion. And that thought and emotion then become engaging. Together it creates a response, a creation. In this space where we're playing with this blue coating, the ability to create a series of, let's call them platforms. I'm going to be on the platform of happy, certain, and capable. From that platform, drawing that blue coating into the emotional body creates a set of results. Now I'm going to be on a platform of confident, pleasant, and commanding of my presence. Different configuration, different triangle of words, if you would. From that configuration, drawing the blue color coding into the body, into the emotional body, creates a different configuration that works through different patterns that conflict with a sense of owning your presence. So when I'm owning my presence, commanding my presence, what would you like to clear away that does not, that conflicts with, or somebody else's opinion that says you can't be strong? I'm simply going to be strong, capable, commanding of my presence, not arguing with it, but drawing the blue coating in to clear away what argues with it. Take another breath. As you look at your past, very simple, you're just observing. Is there a pattern, or have you been told you are not okay? You're not attractive, you're not smart, you're never going to succeed. Some set of words that was an external direction. Somebody gave you a gift. Here, I want to tell you you're not very smart. What happens is we accept that, and then we ask a question. What's wrong with me? How come I can't do it right? Why don't they like me? So what I'd like you to do is would you just be aware of a pattern of your past? Now keep it real simple and don't go into it. Somebody has told me in my life, the only word that my father ever spoke to me in my awareness, clearly not a true statement, but in my awareness was, how come you're so stupid? Interesting. So the day I sat down and decided I am going to be capable, certain, commanding of my presence, be able to be intelligent, focused, able to create, and held that set of vibrations and ran the blue energy through that space into that belief that I was stupid. That was the last day I was stupid. Take a breath. It's not about engaging in. They didn't like me. I did it bad and they were probably right. That's not what you're looking at. You are creating a word, certain, capable, happy, commanding, gracious, confident. Pick your words. Be simple. You have the rest of your life. But would you simply be aware of what would you like to present yourself? What coat would you like to wear if you were going to present yourself? Would you pick a word without an emotion? And then would you draw the emotion of that word that you would like to experience along with that word? Or just playing. Would you take a breath and would you simply be that word? Just kind of feel it in the body. It's no argument. We're just setting the stage. And then notice what it feels like. Hold on to it. But we're going to move away from it. Would you pick another word? We're going to pick 3. Would you pick another word that you're going to combine with that word? Pick another word. And without the emotion, would you now draw an emotion? So if you were being capable, what does capable feel like? For you, you know what capable feels like. And then would you feel this word, and then would you move your attention to the first word and the feeling? Just kind of feel the first word, and then would you feel the second word? And then feel the first word, and feel the second word. And then would you pick a third word without a feeling? If you were going to create a triangle, 3 words, what would that third leg of the triangle be? And then draw an emotion into it. Feel the emotion. Be the emotion in the word. And then would you move your attention to that second word? And then to the first word and feeling. And then back to the second word. Back to the first word. Just own it. And then would you be the combination of the first and second words? Certain and capable, if those were the 2 words. Feel what the two words together feel like. Then would you add the third word, creating a triangle, being that triangle of words, certain, capable, happy. And notice there the clarity, the quietness, the certainty. Just kind of notice you've already created that. And then just notice your quietness in that fourth layer of thought. You're not leaning, you don't need anything, you're not fixing anything, nothing is broken. Now would you own this set of words that you just created? Feel it as an ownership. This is who I am. And then without any doing, would you direct that blue coating to flow in and through the bodies, mostly that emotional body, simply clearing away, short-circuiting all the vibrational patterns that are not in alignment with where you are holding yourself. Nothing to see, just know yourself right here. Continue the breath. Don't look for an answer. Don't look for a change. Simply hold yourself right here. When you begin to become more conscious of being conscious of what you've just done, you will not go out searching for a result, because there is no better place to be than in this triangle that you're standing at this moment for this intention. This is who you are. Another breath. Now, just because you can do this, because you're in that state of that fourth layer, because you're holding these words, would you be pleased with yourself? And just have that concept, I'm pleased with myself, and let the emotion wind itself into, I'm pleased with myself. No second opinions. Nobody else counts but you. I am pleased with myself. You know, you can slide I like me into it. That's okay. That's kind of advanced, but that's okay. Try that. I like me. Pleased with myself. I like me. Pleased with myself. These are the advanced tools, but this is an advanced group, so we can do advanced tools. I like me. Another breath. Now notice those three words in the triangle. Simply become aware of them again. They didn't go away. You just kind of moved your attention to I like me. But it's not just one triangle. You can add multiple triangles. You can begin to create a platform to stand on that has strength and dignity and certainty and commanding of a presence, graciousness, kindness, in a place where it's who you are, not who you are supposed to be. kind of one more attention to that I like me. Another breath. Pleased with myself, kind of just notice the feelings as they start to move through the body. If you allow yourself to notice the feelings, these are places where you have had those pictures that were just removed in your past. They no longer exist in the same formats that they existed before we started this work. You may bump into parts of them again, but how they were configured up until this minute no longer exists. So as you begin to move your attention from that I'm not okay space, third dimension, to a place where you can begin to recognize I am okay and I'm capable, you start to shift from that third dimension to a fifth dimensional consciousness. It's at that point that you begin to start to run these patterns through the body that clear away that emotional and mental distortion. Begin to put that mental and emotional body back to oneness. It was never meant to be two bodies. And you begin to become conscious of what those chakras are all about. You begin to become conscious of consciousness. You begin to have an awareness of the Christed nature of who you have always been. You begin to become aware of yourself. Another breath. Now, would you just light yourself? And as you're sitting there with your eyes closed, very conscious, would you just be aware of the room around you with your eyes closed? And very specifically, coming out of trance is very helpful here. Topic for another day again, but if you'll pay attention to your breath, that's circular breath, and then continue to pay attention to it and let your eyelids open, but don't see anything. The room's there, out of focus. Just focus on the breath 3 more times, and then begin to look at the room. But if you can allow yourself to not jump out of the space becomes more conscious.